Okay, so today for 4.4, we're factoring trinomials again. As a quick review, what does tri mean? Three. So how many terms are in a trinomial? Three. So please make sure that you are not calling binomials trinomials, or that you are not trying to do difference of two squares on a trinomial, okay? Okay, so factoring trinomials. Now there is one thing that is different today. There's actually going to be a number in front of the x squared this time. So that a is actually going to end up being a number. And I'm going to flip back really quick to Wednesday's notes. Look at what we did on Wednesday, guys. Notice how all of the problems, we have k to the second, m to the second, x to the second, q to the second. Is there anything in front of the variable squared at all? No. Today there will be, okay? So when we are factoring a trinomial with a number in front of it, there's going to end up having to be a number in front of the x when we split it up into two parentheses. So if there's a number in front of the x squared, inside the parentheses, the x's should also have a number in front of them. Okay, what's the first thing we should always check for? GCF. Always check for a GCF first. Always, always, always. Okay, if you don't, then most of our methods won't work. So we are going to learn a new method today. So, when we are factoring with a number in front of the x squared, we have a new method. We will not be able to use diamond method on that. We're going to learn a new method, and it has kind of a funny name. It's called bottoms up. So giggle about it right now.
I like that.
Okay, stop giggling.
I like it.
All right, the bottoms up method. Very first thing we are going to do in the bottoms up method, step one. We are going to multiply the first and the third term. So the numbers, we're going to multiply them. Then we're going to take that product to create a new trinomial. That new trinomial is not going to have a number in front of the x squared anymore, so we will be able to factor it using the diamond method. Now, since in step one we multiplied the first two terms, we're going to have to undo that by dividing the integers by the original in the parentheses by the first term in the original problem. Okay, so in step one we multiplied. So in step four we have to undo that by dividing by the first term. You are going to reduce the fraction if possible, and then the last step is the bottoms up step. You want to move the number up, and that's why we call it bottoms up. Okay guys, so let's look at an example of this. I'm going to go step by step with you to make sure that we understand. So example one, write it down on your notes. We have 2x squared plus 7x plus 3. So looking at this example, what's different than any of the examples we've done before? There's a number in front of the x squared. Okay, we have not done that yet. So we are going to use the bottoms up method. Step one of bottoms up. We take the 2 and we move it over to the back where the 3 is. Okay, so what I want you guys to do is I always circle the first number and draw the arrow, because it helps me visualize. I want you guys to imagine that you are physically grabbing the 2 and moving it to the back. So if I physically grab the 2 and move it to the back, what is left? X squared plus 7x plus 2 times 3 gives me 6. Can I factor this guy? Yeah, using which method? Diamond method. So set up your diamond. Okay, they're just X's, but we call it the diamond method. What goes at the top? 6. What goes at the bottom? 7. Okay, guys, you should be able to do this. What two numbers multiply to 6 and add up to 7? 6 and 1. So let's factor that out. So I set up two parentheses. X and X go in there because that's how I get X squared. And then we put plus 6 and plus 1.
Did you,
Okay, am I finished? That was only step 3. There are 6 steps. Okay, because if I were to check this using FOIL, would I get this guy as my regular answer?
No.
Definitely not, right? So, step 4 says, remember in step 1 we multiplied 2 times 3. How do I undo that? Divide by 2. So you're going to divide both numbers by 2. So just the numbers, and we divide by 2 because we multiplied by 2 in the beginning. So you have to divide by that same number. Okay, let's look at the fractions. 6 over 2, does that reduce at all? Yeah, both by 2. 2 goes into 2 once, and 2 goes into 6 3 times. Does 1 over 2 reduce? No. So our last step, step 6, is the bottoms up step. We take the bottoms and we bring them back up. So 1x, or just x plus 3, times 2x plus 1. That's your answer. How would I check if I got the correct answer? FOIL or box. Do whichever you want, but we have to check. So, x plus 3 times 2x plus 1. X times 2x gives me what, guys?
What?
X times 2x? 2x squared. X times 1? X. 3 times 2x? 6x. And 3 times 1? 3. Is that combining like terms? X plus 6x gives me? 7x plus 3. Is that what we started with?
Yeah.
Yep, so we got the correct answer. So anytime you see a number in front of the x squared, you are automatically going to go to bottoms up. However, what do we need to always check for first? GCF, okay? Okay, example 2, 6x squared minus 17x plus 5. Okay, I'm going to pull some sticks here.
I feel like a zombie. I'm just tired.
Okay, first thing I should always look for in any factoring problem is what? Who's in 3? Jasmine. What's the very first thing I should always look for in every factoring problem? What do your notes say?
Wait, step 1? Multiply the first term.
Up higher.
Oh. Oh, GCF,
GCF, thank you. Okay, guys, look at this. 6x squared, 17x, and 5. Is there a GCF in there? No, there's no GCF. So we're going to go straight to bottoms up method. What is the first step in bottoms up method? Who's in 7? Who's 7?
Me.
What's the first step, John?
Multiply the first 3 terms.
Multiply the first, first and third term. So what am I going to do? Multiply what? What? What am I going to multiply? 6 and 5. Okay, so if I multiply 6 and 5, what will my new trinomial be?
30.
Who's in 37? Brandon, what would my new trinomial be? X squared minus 17x plus 30. Do you guys agree?
Yes.
Okay, good. Thumbs up if you got this step so far. Perfect. Okay, what do I do next after I multiply, what is the next step? Who is 28? Factor the new trinomial. So which method am I going to use to factor that? Diamond method. Good. Okay, everybody, what goes in the top?
30.
30. What goes in the bottom?
Negative 17.
Negative 17. Okay, by yourselves. No talking. Fill in the two sides. So turn to your neighbor and share what you got.
What? You go. You're not my neighbor.
Okay, bring it back. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Thank you. Okay, what goes on this side? Who's in 19? Ryan. Negative 15 and negative 2. How did you know they both had to be negative? A negative times a negative is a positive, and when I add the two negatives, the answer is a negative. So this factors to x minus 15 times x minus 2. Thumbs up if you got that so far. Yeah. Excellent. Okay. So, at the beginning of the problem, we multiplied by 6. I need to undo that. So what is my next step? Who's 13? Tiffany. Oh, who's 13? Genevieve. What's my next step? I divide by what? By 6. Good. So I'm going to divide both of those numbers by 6. Let's reduce. 15 over 6. Does that reduce, guys?
By 3?
Yeah, by what? 3. Yeah, 3. 3 goes into 15 5 times, and 3 goes into 6 twice. Does 2 over 6 reduce? Yes, by what? By 2. 2 goes into 2, and 2 goes into 6? 3 times. Okay. So very, very, very last step. What do I do last? Who is 31? Skylar, what's my last step? Exactly. Move the bottoms up. So the 2 goes up here, and the 3 goes up here. So my answer would be 2x minus 5 times 3x minus 1. How would I check that? Foil or box. So let's check really quick. One question for you guys. Does everybody agree that this is the same as this?
Yeah.
Are these two things the same? Yes. So the order that I write the parentheses does not matter. What does matter is what's inside the parentheses. So it has to be 3x minus 1, and it has to be 2x minus 5. But the order that you write those in can be flip-flopped. Okay? So quick check. 3x times 2x. 6x squared. 3x times negative 5. Negative 15x. Negative 1 times 2x. Negative 2x. And negative 1 times negative 5. Positive 5. Combine like terms, so that gives me 6x squared minus 17x plus 5. Is that what we started with? Yes, so we got the correct answer. Okay? Example 3. I'm not going to let you try this one on your own yet. Oh, man. 2x squared plus 4x minus 6. What is the very first thing I should always look for in any factoring problem, no matter what it is? Who's in 15?
Is that me?
Yeah, it's you. What is it, Aaron?
GCF.
GCF. Ladies and gentlemen, look at this problem. Is there a GCF?
Yeah.
Yes, it's what, Kyle? 2. So factor out 2. If I factor out a 2, what's left inside the parentheses? X squared plus, no, not 4, 2x minus 3. Okay, so we factored out a GCF. Look at this guy right here. Is that a bottoms-up problem? No, it's a what, Omar? A diamond method. So let's use the diamond method. So that 2 comes down. What goes on top? Negative 3. What goes on bottom?
2.
Okay, what are the two numbers that multiply to negative 3 and add up to positive 2? 3 and negative 1. So this is x plus 3 times x minus 1. You must write the GCF. Are we finished?
No. Check.
We're done. That's it. Okay, I see a lot of students that say, okay, now I have to distribute the 2. If I distributed the 2, that undoes the entire GCF that we just did. Okay, so our goal here is to have it broken up into as many pieces as we possibly can. So that's your answer. Okay, so let's do a quick check. So we have 2 times x plus 3 times x minus 1. What would I do first in my check here? Yeah, we would distribute the 2. So that's going to give me 2x plus 6 times x minus 1. And then is FOIL or box. So 2x times x is 2x squared. 2x times negative 1 is minus 2x. 6 times x is plus 6x. And 6 times negative 1, minus 6. When I combine like terms, what does negative 2x plus 6x give me? Negative 2x plus 6x?
4x.
Positive 4x minus 6. Is that what we started with? Yep. So we got it correct.
Because the 2 is only in front of the x plus 3, are we distributing to there?
Yes, that's exactly right. Because the 2 is only in front of this parentheses, that's when you distribute it to. Not to all of them. Okay? Okay, this is an example of when you factor out the GCF, you might not have to use the bottoms-up method. Okay? If you tried using bottoms-up before you factored out the GCF, you would not have gotten this as your answer, and it would have been wrong. So always, always check for a GCF first. Okay? Last one, example 4. Yeah, what I want you guys to do is write the problem in your notes. I'm going to have you do it on the whiteboard, though, and I'm going to come around and check to make sure that you are doing the work correctly. After I give you the okay, you can go ahead and copy the correct work into your notes, okay? So, you may get out the whiteboard, and you are working on example 4 right now. Okay, so I saw a lot of good work. If I told you yes, you can go ahead and write it in your notes. Otherwise, look up here, and let's see what we did. Okay. Step 1 in this problem is to look for a what? Who's in 23?
2? 1?
Savannah, step 1 is to look for a what? GCF. Do I have a GCF? No, no GCF, so I'm going to use the bottoms-up method. What is the first step in the bottoms-up method? Who's in 5?
First step is called.
First step.
Multiply 4 to 7.
Exactly. Multiply 4 times 7. Okay. So I'm multiplying by 4 times 7, so that's going to give me x squared plus 11x plus 28. Then what do I do? Who's in 38? Stephanie, then what?
I'm kind of scared.
Exactly. I do the diamond method. Ladies and gentlemen, what goes on top?
28.
28. What goes on bottom?
11.
And what are the two numbers that multiply?
4, 7.
Good. 4 and 7. So, that's going to give me x plus 4 times x plus 7. I saw everybody get to at least this step. That is great. Am I finished?
No.
No. Okay. So what's the next step? Who's in 12? Enrique, what's the next step? Exactly. At the beginning we multiplied by 4, so now we have to undo that by dividing by 4. And then a lot of you got stuck on this step, so let's look at it. What's the next thing I should do? Who's in 30? Is there anybody in 30? No? 1. Nobody. 11. We can simplify by reducing, right? Does 4 over 4 reduce, Angel? Yes, to 1. Does 7 over 4 reduce? No. Okay. So 4 over 4 reduces to 1. 7 over 4 does not reduce. So what is the very last step of this method? Who's in 24? Mary. So we reduced everything, so then what do I do?
Bottom is up.
Exactly, we move the bottom up. That's why we call it bottoms up. So my answer should be x plus 1 times 4x plus 7.
Who was it even close to that?
Okay. How do you guys feel about this between 1 and 5?
0.
Oh my goodness, you guys are crazy. Okay, good. All right, so your homework tonight is from the big textbook, page 401, numbers 2 through 26. That's only even problems, so that's only 13. Okay?